Merry Christmas, Vince.
Merry Christmas, Hella. It's just what I've always wanted.
Intriguing. Let's play it.
Christmas, although the greatest festival in the Christian calendar, is celebrated with customs that originated in superstition and heathen rites hundreds of years before Christ was born. Even the dates owe more to pagan practices than to the birth and resurrection of Jesus. It was not until the 4th century that December 25th was fixed as the anniversary of the Nativity, because the pagan festivals from which so many Christmas customs spring were held around that time. Although Christianity has swept the world in a relatively short time, as the histories of great religions go, the early missionaries faced an uphill task. The pagans were reluctant to give up their false gods and ancient practices. So the missionaries, unable to convert them easily to an entirely new code of worship, did the next best thing. They took the pagan festivals as they were and gradually grafted the observances of the new faith onto these festivals and the rites and customs surrounding them. December 25th was not called Christmas until the 9th century. Until then, it had been the midwinter feast, a combination of the Norse Yule festival and the Roman Saturnalia, both of which took place in late December. The 7 days of Roman feasting were an occasion for exchanging presents, one of the pagan customs that was gladly incorporated into Christmas. Even the sternest advocates of the new faith could not eradicate the notion that Saturnalia was a time for merrymaking. The Romans used to switch roles with their slaves, who were encouraged to elect their own king for the holiday. He would preside over a great banquet at which the master would wait on him and his fellow servants. A similar idea survives in the armed forces in Britain, where it is still an honored tradition for the officers and senior NCOs to serve the Christmas dinner in the lower ranks mess. The reason Christian practice could never go the whole day with the Roman custom is that the unfortunate slave kings, after their brief exaltation, were put to death. When the Normans invaded England in 1966, they introduced into the Christmas festivities a mock king called the Lord of Misrule, whose job was to ensure that the celebrations were conducted in the old pagan style. Wearing paper hats and using firecrackers are throwbacks to the wilder excesses of ancient Rome. Yule logs and candles belong to the Norse tradition. They were symbols of fire and light, bringing welcome relief in the cold and darkness of the northern midwinter. In the centuries that followed the Norman conquest, as Christianity gained a firmer hold, carols and the nativity play were added, and Father Christmas evolved as a mixture of the red-robed Lord of Misrule and St. Nicholas, Santa Claus, the patron saint of children. Mistletoe, a plant sacred to the Druids, was hung outside Viking homes as a sign of peace and welcome to strangers. The custom of kissing under the mistletoe has been traced to the Roman Saturnalia. It has also been associated with certain primitive marriage rites. The modern custom seems to have been confined to the English-speaking world. In England, the Christmas mistletoe is burned on the 12th night. If this were not done, there were feared that boys and girls who had kissed under it might never marry. Even in relatively modern times, Christmas has not always been celebrated with unmixed enthusiasm. Under the 17th century Puritan regime in England, it was attacked because of its heathen associations, and Cromwell's soldiers were ordered to tear down seasonal decorations. The prohibition spread to North America, where it remained in force until 1836, when the straight-laced descendants of the Pilgrim Fathers finally overcame their distaste, and December 25th was proclaimed a national public holiday. And may we never know the rest of the story.